us, we all have dreams. But how many of us are confident enough to pursue those dreams without thinking what the others might feel about it? In fact, not many of us will share our dreams with others for the fear of being judged. We fear that our dreams might not be realistic. We fear that we might become the laughingstock of our friends. Toastmasters and guests, how far can we let it affect our decisions? That is the question. I have a friend, Akash, who is a few years senior to me in my college. So he's an exemplary student, like all A grades and good in co-curricular activities and all. So he had to take his final year placement tests and interviews 2 years back. But he was not allowed to sit for that particular job profile which he was interested in, which is mining engineering, because he belonged to some other department. He didn't give up. He went to an off-campus placement and secured a job there. But he didn't tell his friends. He wished not to tell them till they were all placed in the campus placements. A few weeks passed and they were all placed, and he broke the news to them. They all celebrated. They were happy for him. For him, he found his passion and he found his job. But that was only till he revealed the job specifications and the package. Those who were excited till then weren't excited anymore. They tried to talk sense into him. Don't go for such a low pay. With your grades, you can easily secure a job here in the ongoing campus placements. That's what they said. But he flatly refused their advice. But their comments were enough to plant the seed of doubt in his decisions. And seeing his classmates being placed one after the other in Fortune 500 companies, he finally decided to give up. He quit this job that he worked so hard to secure, and then took an an analyst job in the on-campus placements. The result? He wasn't able to perform too well in his new job. He was under a lot of pressure and finally decided to quit his job after a year. Do you think this would have happened had he chose to ignore his friends' comments and decided to pursue his own dream? Instead of seeing him now as a failed analyst, we would have been talking about a successful engineer. If only he had chosen to ignore their comments. If only he had chosen to see it for himself what they couldn't see it for him. Like this man did. The man who is regarded as one of the best martial artists to have ever existed. A successful actor. We all know Bruce Lee. His dream was to become the greatest fighter on earth. But his journey wasn't an easy one. Before he even became an established figure, he was criticized by the Hong Kong martial arts community for teaching their arts to the Westerners. They forced him to stop doing it. And when he refused, they made him to take a test. The test was to defeat one of their fighters within 3 minutes. Lee failed the test. And he was stopped from teaching martial arts. But that didn't stop him from practicing martial arts. He continued to practice vigorously. But life wasn't so easy. He injured his spine trying to practice harder. The doctors who treated him said he will not even be able to walk normally again, let alone perform those super fast kicks that he always dreamed of. But Lee didn't give up. He saw what the doctors weren't able to see. He saw his dream. While others might have become depressed due to their immobilization, Lee used that time in which he was immobilized to devise his own martial arts, the Jeet Kune Do. And he devised his own training routine to take into account his strained back. And beyond all expectations, he came back. He came back stronger. He came back to the community, Hong Kong community, and this time he challenged them to a duel, saying, I can defeat every one of your fighters in under a minute. And he won. He who was defeated, he who was not able to defeat his opponent within 3 minutes, he who was crippled and put in and hospitalized, went on to become the greatest martial arts master in the world. Toastmasters, what do you think is the similarity between these two stories? They both had a dream. What do you think is the difference between them? Their perseverance. While one chose to quit what he was about to do because his friends wouldn't agree with him, the other chose to see his dream for himself and himself alone. He chose to believe in himself. While others just see our sacrifices, see us sacrificing only what we are, we need to see where those sacrifices will take us. Let us not live our lives for others. We should not let others' vision of us become our reality. Let us not take the advice of those who stand like this and advise us against our decisions. Let us reach our destination and show them that you cannot climb the ladder of success with your hands folded. But we cannot do that unless we see it for ourselves. Over to the team.